Okay, y'all. So I'm going to share something with you that happened the other day. Anything that you do, especially if it has a major impact on somebody else for the good, especially, right? That you happen to be there, that's not coincidence. Okay? So I went for a walk the other day. Well, I went, me and Milo went, and then my friend was asking direction. I said, "Do you want to meet us there?" And he said, "Yeah." So I told him how to get there. So we went, and while I'm waiting on him, this guy is deliberately trying to make eye contact with me. Okay. And he's trying to smile, and he's definitely got his eyes glued on me, not in a romantic way, not in a way of, "Hey, girl, hey." It was nothing like that. But I started talking to him and everything, and we started talking back and forth. And I didn't know this until later that he was actually seeking someone to connect to. And we'll get to that in a minute. And he's been through a hell of a lot. He's been through being in the military, he's been through being severely injured, he has been through having tinnitus and brain damage and seizures, and um, he's got an issue with his knee and an issue with his shoulder. And then on top of all of that, he had a really bad wreck with his motorcycle, and that was probably, I want to say 2016, 2017, somewhere in that time frame. So that's obviously not going to reduce your pain. And so we got to talking back and forth, and I said, "Do you want to sit down?" Because I was sitting on a bench, and he said, "Yeah." So we were talking back and forth, and then my friend showed up, and I said, "You want to go for a walk to the creek?" And he's like, "Yeah." So I asked, this person, "Do you want to come with us?" And he's like, "Sure, why not?" He don't know us from a can of paint. He just met us. Okay, we could be, I don't know, Bonnie and Clyde or something. No, but he felt like we were fine. We weren't gonna do anything to him or any of that, and I didn't feel like he was gonna do anything to us. So anyway, we went for a walk in the woods. Wasn't the smartest idea. It's super hot, right? Super hot. I paid for that later, but we'll talk about that. Anyway, and so my friend disappeared with Milo, and the two of them just went off in the wind somewhere and left myself and this person. We'll call him Bill. He left me and Bill to talk to each other. And uh, at one point, I had joked and told my friend, I said, "Me and Bill are getting married." Now, mind you, we just met. Now I'm acting silly. And so my friend looks at him and goes, "My condolences, man," or something like that. I said, "Shut the hell up." so, so anyway, we're sitting by the creek. Bill is a nature lover, like me, loves water, loves trees, loves plants, has his own garden at his house and the whole bit. Um, his house is not too far from the lake. I mean the creek. The park. So he had told me that, and he doesn't drive. He's got issues, medical issues, and his he had a DUI when he was in college, and just drama, just all kinds of stuff. And so he said he had mentioned that he was in the hospital recently. And I said, "If you don't mind, why did you go to the hospital?" And he said, "Do you want me to be honest?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Because I tried to," in so many words or less, eliminate himself. And I said, "Why would you do that?" "I'm just tired. I've just had a lot going on. I just feel like nothing goes right for me, and I'm just tired." I said, "A lot of people can relate to that. A lot of people can relate to that." But the fact that we are here in this moment together talking, this isn't accidental because I'm here later than I would normally be here. And I kept getting delayed. I had to do this and I had to do that, and then I had to get this and I had to go get something to eat because I hadn't eaten yet. And then it's just one thing after another that I had to do. So I'm here a lot later than I normally would be. And you and I talking right now, that's not a coincidence. That's not a coincidence. Okay? He said, well, I really needed somebody. I really, really, really needed somebody to talk to. And I said, well, like I said, this isn't coincidental. I would not normally be here at this time. And if I was, I would have been here way earlier. And he said, I'm so appreciative that you and your friend invited me to hang with you. You don't know how much that means to me. You don't know how much I needed that. And I said, but if you had decided to exit out of life, you wouldn't be enjoying this moment right now. And you wouldn't have met us. And he said, that's true. I said, everybody is going through stuff right now. The world is dark. People are selfish. People are all about them. And they say they're going to do something, or they offer to be there for you, and they're not. If you ever need anything, let me know. He's not that kind of person, and I'm not that kind of person. We are, and I'm very glad I met him too. He said, well, I'm not like that. If I say I'm going to do something, I do it. I said, me too. I said, that's how we used to do back in the day. You do what the hell you say you're going to do, and you mean what the hell you say. But most people are phony, and they're just not. They're just selfish. And I understand how you feel. I can totally relate to how you feel. I totally understand it. But we have to make our joy when we can. And we have to find peace where we can. And you don't know me from a can of paint, and I appreciate you reaching out to me, and I appreciate you being honest with me at the risk of being judged. I wouldn't judge you, but you don't know that. Because when somebody's going through some severe darkness, people get very uncomfortable because they don't want to deal with that. So they're like, oh, Anyway, I think my mom's calling me. I gotta go. Okay, that type of deal. You don't know if I'm that kind of person, but he took a chance. He said, well, I feel like you're not like other people. I said, no, I'm kind of weird. He said, I'm weird too. And we both started laughing. And when we left, we were leaving, Milo and my friend went together. They left together, and that was fine with me. And um, Bill and I walked out together, and we struggled because we both have chronic pain. So I had him, there's a little slope, and I had him walk up the slope first. And then I said, can you help me? And he said, yeah. And so he put his arm out, and then I grabbed his arm, and he helped pull me up the little slope thing. And I also pushed off the tree so I could get a little extra help. Um, he was in the Marines, and you could tell his muscles are like super powerful. And I could just feel that just from his arm, you know, me holding on to him when he helped me up this little tiny hill. It was just, you could tell. I mean, the military will shape you up and you will be a machine, okay? Even if you're not in the military no more, unless you let yourself completely go and you have 50 beers a night, then you won't look like you've been in the military. But he definitely looks like he stays physical, he stays active. He does jujitsu and some other type of martial arts. I can't remember exactly. But we had a great time. I had him laughing his butt off. We were laughing. Find out he's a musician. He plays multiple instruments. He sings. He does all of that. I said, "Are you part of a band?" And he said, "I'm part of a few bands, but we're gonna I think he wants to get more established with his music later down the line. And somebody had donated a guitar to him recently too. I said, "Really?" So, we had a great time. We were laughing. We were talking about music. I told him about, I said, "Man, a few years ago, I went to an '80s party. Don't you know they didn't play nothing with some soul in it. I had to ask them, can you play some Michael Jackson and some Whitney Houston or something? Okay, give me some Prince. Give me something I can relate to. Artist formerly known as Prince, whatever Prince." So I think he started singing a song and I started singing it. He goes, "Who's the artist for that?" And I said, oh man, I know it. It's on the tip of my tongue. I couldn't remember it. I couldn't remember. It's Proud Mary, right? Written by the Credence something group band something. Anyway, and then Tina Turner and Ike did it. Proud Mary, and we were going rolling, rolling down the river, do 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 do. So we were actually we had a great time. He didn't live too far away from the park. I could tell his pain was getting worse, and I offered to give him a ride. And before y'all flip out, look here. I can read people. I can read people, and no, he's not the type of person who would do something awful to you. If I sensed any tiny bit of that, I would never have offered to take him home. And he was only a few minutes away, so I just dropped him off, and he showed me his garden. Honey, he gave me some mullein leaves. It's a plant. He says you let those dry out. When those dry out, you could use them for tea. I said, "Really?" Fresh out the garden. He gave me a strawberry fresh out the garden. He also gave me a tomato. A little baby tomato is so cute. I said, "So do I have to wait for it to get red to eat it?" He said, "You could eat it while it's green." I was like, "Oh, okay." And he's so proud of his garden. He got a thing for pumpkins. Okay. Okay. He got a thing for pumpkin. He has so many pumpkin plants. I didn't say nothing, but I'm thinking, oh, he likes pumpkins. So anyway, I told him, I said, if I'm ever, he's not going to be here that long. He's going to relocate. I'm not sure. He's got family in St. Louis, so I think within the next week or two he will relocate. But I'd like to make his uh the remaining time he has here fun, because I know what it's like when you're trapped and you don't have no vehicle, honey. Okay, you can't, you're limited to what you could do. I said, if I'm in the area and you get ready to come to the park, I will come get you. You don't have to walk. Plus, we're in a heat wave. Come on. That's kind of silly, right? So I did tell him, um, I wish you had come with us to the current river. He goes, "Oh, I've been there. I love it." I said, "Is it not gorgeous? The water is crystal clear." And I told him about I had come around the corner and I had seen a guy feeding a deer out of his hand. Now, if I had not seen that, imagine somebody tells you, "Oh yeah, a deer was eaten out of my hand." You'd be like, "Yeah, sure he was." Right? Or sure it was. I've seen it with my own eyes. And the deer, after the guy fed him, the deer walked away. And I'm like, "Hey, I want to take a picture with you." And he's like, or she's like, "You don't have any food. So our conversation's over." And she just walked away from me like, "I don't have nothing to say to you." I'm like, wow. So we were laughing about that. But so I do plan on helping him out a little bit and kind of like mom mode, kind of take him under my wing. Um I know God knows. I know what it's like when you're overwhelmed with life and life is getting so hard and you feel like you're drowning. I know what that feels like. I've been through that my entire life. So if I see somebody hanging by a thread, if I can make you laugh, if I can let you know, I told him through no uncertain terms, people care about you. Even people that don't know you care about you. You're not alone. He said, you don't know how hard I was crying before you and I started talking. I was just, just felt lost. And men don't walk around, admitting that. They don't. So he was so open and so direct and so honest. And I appreciate that. I really do. And I feel honored to spend time with somebody who I can make them laugh and remember good things in life. Because when you're at the point where you're done, last thing you want to do is laugh and have a good time and remember good things about life, because you try to just erase all of that so you could be out of here. So during a time in his life where he feels the most broken he's ever felt in his life, and I could be there for him, I feel honored. I know for a fact that when people have decided they're going to do it, you're not going to stop them. And I'm not going to kid myself and act arrogant and think, oh, well, I made him feel so good that he'll never. No, he could do it right now. Nobody has any say over that when a person decides they're done. But I hope that myself and my friend can make a positive impact on him. And I hope that we can have some memories before he leaves. I said, you know what? I hate when I meet cool people and they leave. And he started laughing. He goes, I know, I know. He's so authentic and so genuine and so open with his feelings. So here are my emotions. This is how I feel. And it was just really refreshing to meet somebody who's that honest and that open and that naked emotionally in front of somebody they don't even know. They're trusting you with the deepest part of themselves. So, yeah. So you guys take care. There are people out there that care about you, even if you don't know them. I care about you and I don't know you, but I care about you. Okay? I don't have to have a reason. I could just care about you because I care about you. There's no incentive. You're not going to give me money. Hey, I'll take it. We all could use a couple dollars. But people care about you even if you think nobody does. Somebody does. Okay? Don't forget that. Y'all take care. Much love.